Hey, so I'm in the process of rebuilding a rear end here in a 8.5 GM rear end, and I was doing my pinion. I got my pinion in, and was in the process of tightening it up with a new crush sleeve, new gears and everything, new bearing. And of course, you run into a snag once you get to the crush sleeve, where you just can't. It takes an ungodly amount of torque to tighten that pinion nut up anymore. So basically what I came up with, a good way to tighten that up if you don't have a if you're not on a lift, if you're on the ground like I am, you just put your long breaker bar here on your pinion holding tool that you get on you can get them on Amazon for about $20. Put it in one of the 1/2-inch holes and let it bump it up against the frame here, and put your ratchet or your breaker bar, whichever you got, on there, and put a floor jack under your ratchet handle or your breaker bar handle, and then slowly raise up on it, and it's going to tighten up your pinion nut. See if I can get a example here. Just like that. Let it back down. And then you want to check your torque, rotational torque, with your beam style torque wrench, and see if you're at your desired torque for this. If you're putting a new bearing in on these GM 8.5s or 8.5s, the new bearing, the rotational torque is 25 inch-pounds. I believe it's 15 inch-pounds if you're reusing your old bearing. We're going to check it. Let's see where we're at now. I was at about 8 a while ago, and I just barely turned it enough. You don't want to turn it much or you'll screw up. You don't want to go past your desired turning. So let's see where we're at. Looks like we're sitting at about 20, 25 roughly. It's about 25, 26. I want to spin this thing. I put a little bit of gear lube on them new bearings. I'm going to spin it, try to get these bearings to seat, get them seated down, because this will loosen up. If you spin it a few times this way and then go back the other way with it, and then recheck your torque. Let's see if it's loosened up any. Which it did. It loosened way up to about almost 10. So we got to go back and tighten it up some more. Just a little bit, not very much at this point. Once you're getting to this point of the pinion being tight, very small adjustments, and then go back and check your torque, because you do not want to go past your specific specifications, or you can't back up because your crush sleeve's already been crushed. So that's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and do that, and then check it out, and then we'll come back and see. Okay, so I went back and tightened it up a little bit more, and spun it by hand, spun the pinion by hand a few times, and we're pretty close. We're right on like 29 or 30, which I'm okay to let that ride, because that's going to loosen up couple heat cycles in this rear end, get it spinning pretty fast. It's going to loosen it up a little bit. So anyway, that's a good little trick to get your pinion nut, your new crush, if you're putting a new crush sleeve on and getting it tightened up and getting the proper torque on your rotational torque on your pinion. It's very important. Anyway, I just figured that was a nice little cheat to use as a floor jack. So all right guys, have fun. We'll see you on the next one.